Now I want to talk about what you're paying at the grocery store. Of the commodities tracked by the FAO Food Price Index, sugar up 7%, vegetable oil 5%. They were the biggest increases in March. Global wheat prices 4.3% up. Dairy prices rose 1.2% from February. Meat prices rose 1%. And these cost increases, in part to higher energy prices linked to the war in the Middle East. Let's bring on Dan Varroney right now, highly regarded economic strategist, two-time author, #1 Amazon best-selling author of Rethinking Economic Growth. Dan, should we all prepare for more sticker shock at the grocery store?
Well, the answer is energy. It all started with energy. What we're all feeling at the grocery store isn't random. It's an energy-driven price shock and food price cycle. So when diesel moves, it pushes through the entire food system, and that's what's hitting all of us at the food store.
All right, but let's go back. I can understand what's going on in the Middle East, and I get all that, and I think most Americans do. But let's backtrack before any of this transpired with Iran. People paying outrageous amounts at the grocery store. We heard after COVID it was all about supply chain. I don't want to hear that anymore. I feel like a lot of these companies, those prices went up, Dan, and once they go up, you know and I both know, they are hesitant to bring them back down because they know we'll pay it. And it's just excuse after excuse after excuse. I guess what I'm asking you is, have we been getting gouged over the last 2 years when it comes to grocery prices and things like that?
So as I look at the numbers, is there gouging? Clearly there is gouging, but in the last 4+ weeks, the spikes we're seeing are all energy related.
Okay. And again, I understand that. So let's go back to the gouging. How do we combat that as an American consumer? If companies are going to take the liberty of keeping prices high with no hopes of bringing them down, what's your advice to the American consumer?
The answer is consumer choice. We vote with our feet and we go somewhere else. And what I mean by that is that nobody is telling us that we need to buy name brands. We can buy the generic brands. That's what my wife and I do at the food store. We go to Walmart, we go to Food Lion, and we're always looking for the best value for the dollars that we spend. And I think that if every consumer does that, if they do more research, they're better educated. The consumer product companies are going to get the message. The message is that consumers voted with their feet and they went to less expensive, better value products. That's the way to send it.
Talking to economic strategist Dan Varroney, founder and CEO of Potomac Corp. That's a strategic planning firm that advises business leaders, trade associations, and policymakers on what's going on out there. You can't be shocked. This is the world you live in when it comes to finances and numbers and watching charts and indexes. After COVID hit, you probably knew right then and there that prices weren't coming back. The American consumer was hoping they would, but I'm sure you probably knew they weren't.
There's a reality there. Once, prices aren't like an elevator. They don't go up and come down again, right? But what I will tell you is that there is that post-COVID period. But for me, we are in an energy price shock. So one thing I want to make, this is a bone I want to pick, not with you, but generally speaking, this isn't inflation that we're experiencing since the start of the Iran war. This is higher energy prices. Inflation is too few goods chasing too many. People don't understand what the definition is, right? This is a one-time energy price shock. I believe the price increases that we're seeing now will go down. The prices at the gas pump will go down 2 to 3 weeks after hostilities cease. I think the food prices that we knew will reduce. It will take 6 to 12 weeks or longer, but I think they're going to reduce. The reason why I think these prices will fall is because all of us on the consumer side knew what we were paying before the Iran war.
So basically, before there's pleasure when it comes to prices, there's going to be pain.
Absolutely.
Now, when you take a look at this from a political standpoint, because I know you advise policymakers in trade associations, from a policy standpoint, from a political standpoint, is what is going on in the Middle East good for the Republican Party, in your opinion, or do you think the ramifications will be felt in the midterms and beyond?
Interesting question. So you were probably the fifth or sixth host to ask me that question, and I'm going to give the same answer because the same answer still holds true. So the way I look at it, right, I'm a data person. I look at data all the time, and I look at the approval of both political parties. I am shocked at the generic ballot tests that Democrats are only up by 2 points. Today there was a YouGov poll that came out, a generic ballot poll that came out this morning. Republicans have picked up 3 points in the last week, and they're within 2 of the Democrats. Pretty shocking. The issue is that Democrats right now have got an agenda, and the agenda is Trump, 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 Trump. What they need is the policy agenda for how they're going to make life better. And I don't think that's helping them. Now, on the other side of this, I think from a strategic basis, what we all don't yet understand is that we have been paying a terror premium coming out of the Middle East for the last 47 years. That the prices of oil were higher because insurance companies were charging these oil companies a higher premium because it was dangerous to move oil through the Strait of Hormuz. And I think if this problem goes away, we'll see stabilized prices coming out of the Middle East and the Strait of Hormuz.
Talking to Dan Varroney, strategist, 2-time author, and the #1 Amazon bestselling author of Rethinking Economic Growth. So your best advice to the consumer out there listening right now is just simply grin and bear it and be frugal where you can. You can fight back by not spending on certain items or just cutting back.
I think a better educated consumer is going to get the consumer packaged goods companies back to their own bottom line, saying maybe these higher prices aren't working as well as they thought they would. That's what I think is going to help.
Dan, always enjoy talking to you. Thank you.
Likewise.
All right. That's, again, Dan Varroney.